front of you on the table. So if you've got drinks, you're going to want to move them. Probably if you've got stuff there, I just clear yourself a little space.
Are we dancing on the table?
Unfortunately, no. But we are doing a song that involves slapping the table. Yes, we are doing that song.
Yes, sir.
So, if you don't know me, I'm Matt, of course.
Hi, Matt.
I'm from St. Paul, Minnesota. Fritz asked me to step in here and teach a workshop. He really wanted to bring some very, very serious material to all of you to really make sure that you're hammering home some of the more important parts of the chocolate life. I'm entirely kidding. We're going to do 3 really silly dances and songs today. The first one is called An Old Austrian. It's all in English, and it's a drinking song, for lack of a better way. So, you're going to need to do 2 things besides sing these lyrics. You're going to have to do a drum roll in front of you. Yeah, just like that. Perfect, you guys got it. The second thing you have to do, you're going to slap the table in front of you, slap in front of you, and snap the table. Okay, so the lyrics to this, I'll give a dramatic reading of them. An old Austrian went yodeling on a mountain so high. Along came a blank, interrupting his cry. And then you will yodel, Yodel-lay-hee-hee-ee, Yodel-lay-hee-hee-ee. And we'll go through a series of different motions here. We'll start with avalanche. When we do avalanche, you're going to go. Okay? One after that will be grizzly bear. And then Saint Bernard, you're gonna go woof woof. Sorry, I blanked on what's happening. Jersey cow, that's what's next. We're gonna go. Then maiden fair will come after that. We're gonna go. And then the last one is her fiance. We'll save that until the very end.
His fiance.
Or his fiance, their fiance. So, we're going to start with our drum roll. And when along and avalanche interrupt his cry. That's our first verse. So, we'll keep going on, we'll add on these different things. Next is grizzly bear, so on and so forth. As we add them on, you keep doing it at the end when you recite them, right? So you go grizzly bear, you'll start with the avalanche,
So
keep adding those things on as we go.
So it's kind of like the Christmas. It's partridge and pear tree.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. The next song we do will be the same sort of thing as well. So, let's take it from the top. I'll shout out what we're doing. You guys can watch me. We'll go all the way through it this time, and then we'll talk about some of the regional variants that we would like to add in. We really like to honor our past and present Gauverband. So I'll show you guys the Markle course, and I'll show you guys the Yodel-lay-hee-hee-ee. We won't talk about the Zweite Gauverband.
Right.
So, let's start with our drum roll from the top. Ready? So I went along and avalanche interrupted his cry. ho. Drum roll.
Another illustrious Gauverband, I should add. So, like I mentioned, we do this late at night. If you come to one of the Volksmusik Simmers or something like that at the Bezirksfest, you'll see us doing this inevitably. We do it at the Midwest Bezirks Fest as well. And as part of that, we come up with these like silly add-ons that we do. And for the tale of the story, we put them all in after Maiden Fair. And you just kind of keep going, and you keep making stuff up, and they develop throughout the years, they change throughout the years, but it's part of keeping this an ever-growing and ever-continuing and evolving tradition. So like I said, we started by making fun of my father, Mark. We love to do that. So you would say, when along came and Mark, of course, interrupting this crowd. And the gimmick for that would be for Rudy Lesh.
Everybody knows who the Lorax is? Well, I don't consider the Gauverband.
Something like that. The Rudy Lesh is he just pause for a moment and go. In the past, this one doesn't always work very well, but we talked about doing the Golden Gate as well. That would be where you all stand up and shift one chair over, because at the beginning of the Plattler sequences, all those guys scoot to the left. I'm not going to suggest that for right now. It gets really bogged down and ends up taking like 10 minutes just to do that one walk. But I bring all those up to sort of give you some examples of the kinds of things you can look to do. You could say, we have dear friends in the Cleveland group, and when they do their competition dances, they, the men end one of their Hoaxman sequences by slapping the ground and going out with their hands. And so we took that, and along came a Clevelander, became stuff like that. You could say along came
Eric Ray.
an Eric. That's more me today, I think, than Eric Ray. Eric Ray is an accordionist for SG Edelweiss St. Paul. He is going to hate me for saying this, but he very notoriously threw up all over himself when Hellfest, and so the Eric Ray became So don't hold back. Have fun with these. Be a little mean, but never too mean that it's not funny. Okay. Trying to think of any other fun ones. You could say along came a Seth and it would just be, bacon. So, why don't we do one time through, we'll do the Marco Course and the Rudy Leschke, and then we'll move on to the next song. Yeah?
Yeah.
Sing out, sing loud. Ready? I'm not going to sing into the mic. That was really throwing me off and I hate how I sound. So. I'm going to do it right here.
Yeah.
All right, ready? Together. And